Yes, Chef!
With Ryan.
It's a Tuesday, and that means it's time to put on some extra pounds in the studios. Ryan always brings us a delicious Korean treat. We talk about it, we upload the videos onto YouTube, and we get to taste it, most importantly. And today it's grilled meat with leafy vegetables, quite unique food culture of Korea, which is sambap. Ryan, good morning, and thank you.
Good morning.
Thank you. Hats off to you, sir. Well, no, because my hair's a mess. But anyway, I think I've died and gone to heaven. The smell in the studio, the aroma. Oh, if only there was smell-o-vision or something for our listeners.
This one's just for you, buddy.
It's so good, the scents in here. Wow.
Yeah, it does smell good in there.
So I looked at your photo earlier. And really, I almost had a heart attack. I was like, I can't wait for Ryan to come in. You've got to follow Chef Ryan on social media, Ryan_Wesley_Phillips. It looks so good, marinated raw even. Oh, wowzers. Look at the video radio right now if you're not. We've got the grilled meat. We've got the veggies here. And I assume in the pot we've got the rice.
Oh, yeah. Not just rice, but all those different kinds of grains. There's like 20, 30 different kinds of grains in there.
In a proper, like, pressure cooker thing here.
Yeah. Wowzers. I brought in the stone pot so many times. I thought I'd bring in this guy right here today. So
I think he was getting jealous, that the stone pot was getting all the attention. Wowzers.
Perfectly.
Oh, look at this.
Probably a little bit of nurungji on the bottom, too.
And I think, when listeners see this, the rice that is purple, they might be a bit like thrown. What's this purple rice?
When you put the black rice in, it doesn't take very much, and it colors all the rice.
Yeah, a nice kind of shade of purple, doesn't it? It looks absolutely fantastic, Ryan. Okay, so we're talking about
hungry.
Sambap.
Are you hungry?
I'm getting hungrier and hungrier just smelling this.
I think we're going to eat all of this, except for the rice. That's a lot of rice.
I don't know, depending on how much we put in those delicious leaves. We could eat it all. So tell us a bit about Sambap before we pick out. We've got to.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've got this awesome Hanu here today, but it can be anything. It can be any kind of protein. Some folks will do the pork belly. Some folks will do different kinds of fish.
Really? Fish is in there?
Yeah. One of my favorite sambap restaurants out near Suwon Science College where I used to work. They do the samchi, the Spanish mackerel, grilled, and you use that with your sambap.
Oh, that's quite a good idea. Yeah, because it's quite meaty.
Well, it's just so healthy. I mean, not that the beef's bad for you; it's really good too. But I love all of those, man. That's the interesting thing about sambap is it doesn't matter what you've got around. You just need something to wrap with, and it could be fresh greens. Yeah. It could be steamed or boiled cabbage.
Oh, I've seen that a lot of time with the doenjang, right?
Exactly.
With the bean paste. That's good.
Actually, that's one of my favorites. Yeah. I thought about bringing that one too, but it didn't have a cabbage, and these look so good that I got these. So, but yeah, steamed cabbage or the bomdong, the like flat kind of winter cabbage guy.
Oh, okay.
I don't know an English name for it. I've only ever seen it here, but that one goes so well. You get a little bit of samjang or doenjang. Samjang is a combination of doenjang and gochujang and a few other ingredients like garlic, chopped chilies.
So the soybean paste and the chili pepper paste mixed together.
Right.
Oh, that tastes so good with the chopped garlics in there.
Oh, it's such a nice harmony of sweet.
Is that a version
spicy.
of it?
Right. I made this for us last night, and it's it gives you your saltiness, it gives you your sweetness, and a little bit of spicy too.
Can I have a little sniff, Ryan? Yeah, I love samjang. Like.
And the doenjang in there was made by a friend of mine, a farmer friend of mine.
Really?
So it's legit. It's the real deal.
You can get this very easily and cheaply in the supermarkets, but when it's freshly made, it smells just so much better. Yeah. And I don't believe this. When I was younger, I used to hate this kind of smell. I used to detest it. Yeah, kimchi, samjang, doenjang. My mum opened up a pack in the house. Me and my dad were like, "Please put it away, Mum." It was putting us off our meal. But now I'm smelling this up because I love it. It smells so comforting.
You got back to your Korean roots, man.
Absolutely. And this is essential, I feel, for the sambap. You need to dip it in this, either your leaf or your meat, and then put it inside with the rice. Otherwise, it's missing something.
Right. And with this, you could have a really mild flavored protein, or there's no salt in Korean rice. Usually, it's just the water and the grains in the rice. And so you need to have that flavoring, and it brings it all together.
Fantastic. Yeah. And so let's teach our listeners how we eat this then, Ryan. So it's pretty straightforward and simple, right? It makes sense.
Well, let me go ahead and just spoon you out some rice here. Oh, this is cooked perfectly. I'm so happy.
Yay.
Yeah. Okay. Everybody usually uses rice cookers in Korea, but I just love doing the old school way. I love hearing the pressure cooker going in the morning.
Yeah, many grandmas still like to use the pressure cooker or the pot. Like my mum will often do it, even though she often uses the rice cooker as well. Like if she wants it extra quick and extra tasty, she'll do it in the pot for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. She really likes it.
I'm addicted to just doing it the old way. All right, so there's all different kinds of greens here. We got some chicory, we've got some red romaine. This is I forget the Korean name, but it's similar to kind of like a kale or like a collard green. There's some mustard greens, some purple mustard greens in here as well. The chicory is kind of bitter, but bitter greens are really good for you. And
sometimes people will layer it up like you're doing, right? Not just one leaf. I don't know what to go for now. I'm going to go for this.
I know you hate the perla leaves, so I didn't bring any of those.
Thank you for that, Ryan. Yes.
I don't know how you hate them. They're so good.
Yeah, I don't believe so. Okay, and then we just put in the rice.
I usually do a little bit of rice here.
Here we go.
And then I'll take the meat, which this is...
what cut are we talking about?
Yeah, this is interesting because, back in the States, we don't... This cut is really, really cheap, but when it comes off of Korean Hanu, it's really nice. And it can be done up like this, just cooked quickly on a grill or.
So what cut is it?
It's called the short plate.
The short plate
in Korean. It's the opjinsal.
Opjinsal.
It's from the belly, just behind the brisket.
Okay.
So back in the States, it's pretty cheap, but here. I'm going to let you go first.
Yeah, so it doesn't look very polite, but we shove the whole thing in our mouths. That's the way to eat it, right? So I'm not being rude, I promise.
Right. I think we could eat all of this, but it might make for a quiet show.
Oh, really? That samjang is delicious.
Finally, we got something that Peter really loves. No strange textures, no strange flavors.
No, and it's good for you. We got the leaves, the rice. You've got like a little bit. It's like a healthy sandwich almost, or a healthy wrap, right?
Yeah, I've taken tortillas to Korean restaurants.
Really?
Because
and doing a little
just
wrap
kind
with
of being funny and having fun. I've taken tortillas and cheese and limes to Korean restaurants just for fun, and they'll laugh at me, and then I'll give them one to try. Yeah, and that's awesome too. But this is a lot healthier for you.
Exactly. There's no flour or anything like that. Go ahead, Ryan. Don't wait on my turn now. That beef is really delicious as well. Oh. So you've marinated that as well, which just gives it the extra something. There are some occasions where I prefer the sengogi, where there's no marinade, but that's usually when it's the really fatty tungshim or the sirloin, the gottungshim, where it's great by itself with maybe a little bit of salt. But Korean marinade, for a lot of the meats, is quite similar. That sweet marinade. It's so good. It goes so well. So I'm going to have to ask you after you've finished that and given us your take on it, how do you do this?
Try to make a smaller bite next time.
Oh, no, it's so good.
Yes, very common marinade in Korea for beef or pork, actually, is the combination of soy sauce, plenty of chopped garlic, toasted sesame oil, and then something to sweeten it up, which in this case is honey, but you could use different kinds of sugar. Yeah. And just those ingredients will do a pretty good job for you.
And then the pear is the key ingredient for me.
Oh, I love using the grated pear for the sweetener.
Oh, it's so delicious, isn't it? And then you just leave it in there for how long did you do for these?
Oh, 20, 30 minutes. These are cut so thin, 20, 30 minutes is plenty of time.
Oh, it's so delicious, Ryan. I'm going to stick this in my mouth. And,
There's the crunch.
And that's how you eat it. And, all right, talking with your mouth full is rude, but putting that whole thing in your mouth is not rude in Korea, right? That's okay.
No, it's totally fine. This is one of my favorite Korean foods to share with friends back in the West, too, when I visit.
There's not much not to like as well. Like the sauce itself is a bit different to what you'll find in the West, right? But aside from that, and you don't have to dip it in there if you don't want to.
Well, you know, if this is pretty heavy on the doenjang, which is the more unusual flavor or smell to folks out of the other ingredients that are in here. So you can go lighter on the doenjang, you know, tone it down a little bit. It's not really spicy. It looks, you know, to some people it might look like it's, you know, super hot because of the color, but it's really not.
Yeah, it's not going to blow your head off, right?
It's balanced by a sweetness, and
And I've seen people sometimes, if they're not a fan of this, you can get like the sesame oil with the salt and pepper in it and just dip your meat in that instead.
Absolutely.
And have the rice, or you could have it plain, which is even more healthy. Please go ahead, Ryan. And it's wonderful when you're eating this together. A lot of the restaurants, if you ask for the sambap chongshik, which is like the sambap meal, the meat will come out grilled already, so you don't even have to cook it or stuff. But if you're having this at a restaurant where it's not necessarily sambap, but they will give you greens, they'll give you the barbecue in front of you. While you're cooking it, whoever's in charge of cooking it, your other friends will usually wrap you one of these up, right? And give it to you, like put it in your mouth sometimes. Don't be taken aback, you know, that's also just being caring to one another, right? Just saying, here.
I'm sure your mom did that for you when you were a kid, too. It's like, here, eat.
Yeah, and, you know, between loved ones, especially like a wife and a husband, you'll often do that to each other. Less as time goes by, but yes, still. It's so good, isn't it?
That was a good bite.
And this is something that some of the airlines are now serving, some of the Korean ones. I've seen it on them. Like as a sambap. So they give you the rice, they give you a few bits of meat as well. And then it's such a... Because having salad, I think, in the sky, it gives you a bit of refreshing flavours in your mouth. It's really good on the plane. I absolutely love it. We're going to be back in part 2 to probably eat some more of this, talk a little bit more about sambap, and we'd love your messages. Are there any wraps like this that you eat in your country? What kind of leaves do you use? What kind of meats do you use? We'll talk all about that after FT Island's Pare, or I Hope. We're back for part 2 of Yes Chef. I'm getting full because we're just munching on this during the song break as well. There is a kick. I know you're better with spicy food than me, way better, but I can feel like a heat, a comfortable heat, like on my tongue and around my mouth. It's nice. It's kind of comforting.
There's a few chilies in there,
Yeah, I like it. We got some messages from our listeners to read out before we move on. Danielle says, good night from Trinidad from YouTube. It's after 9 p.m. here. Surely you're not going to bed while we're eating this delicious cuisine, Danielle. Tell us if there's anything in Trinidad. I would imagine for some reason there'd be some tropical leaf wraps with rice or something like that. I may be totally wrong. Roz from the US says, oh, your rice looks really like mine. Black rice with brown rice, red and brown quinoa. By the way, that looks delicious. Do we put quinoa in our rice here in Korea?
No, but there's some grains that are really similar.
Oh, really? Yeah, okay. Because quinoa is like a big health food at the moment in the West, isn't it?
But it has been for a few years now. It's a grain from Peru, and it's a superfood.
Yeah.
I love it. Just don't. A lot of people overcook it, and I don't know why.
Really, I don't know how to eat it.
Where it just totally pops, and then it has those little curlies on it.
And that's being overcooked, is it? You don't want to get it to that point. Usually.
I think so, because then it's kind of mushy. I like it for it to have that little pop. It's nice.
Peru, now you mentioned that, I just remember from last night, we were eating grapes and it said from Peru, and my kids were like, where's Peru? And they got really interested. And then I remembered a story that we've got, a kid's story, and it talks about guinea pigs in Peru. And I think they eat guinea pigs
absolutely,
as well.
yeah.
Have you tried a guinea pig?
No, I haven't tried it. My brother has. My brother was in Peru. I haven't made it there yet, but... But he tried guinea pigs too.
He said it was all right?
Yeah.
Because I saw one disturbing picture before. They just put it on a stick and serve it whole. You know, each to their own, obviously. Like a pig on a stick is the same thing, isn't it? And that's a delicious spit roast indeed.
True. I know in various parts of Brazil they'll eat those nutria, those large rodents. You know?
Oh yeah, that kind of live down by the river. Have you not tried those either?
I haven't tried that one either. No.
I'm willing to try most meats. You know, I think you can't really go too far.
I've had rabbit many times, and it's delicious. Yeah. It's kind of like the perfect marriage between chicken and pork, I guess. It's like
brilliant.
a lean pork.
Oh.
And it's good. So, and it's rodent family. It's
Yeah,
similar.
there you go. If you take off the cute fluffy ears, it would just be a giant rat, wouldn't it? Annie from Singapore says, "Good morning, chef. I've never tried sambap, but I enjoy wrapping samgyeopsal with lettuce and samjang." That's basically the same thing, yeah. If you put, and the bap aspect is just putting a bit of rice in there, isn't it? So as long as you put a bit of rice in there, that is a sambap, and usually you'll get the ingredients for a sambap at any Korean barbecue, right? They'll give you the leaves and everything on the side. Looking at Peter eating makes me want to try that sambap too. I'm salivating here. Sambap 좀 주세요. Please give me some sambap. Well, we gave it to our camera lady today, and she absolutely adored it too. I'm sorry to our outside writers and producer today. I don't think there's going to be much left for you guys. Maybe some leaves and some rice. That can still be tasty, right? Siska from Indonesia says, "OMG, today's food. I'm gulping here. The king is so excited to. Party day on #DailyK Studio. I wish I could teleport myself there at this moment. And that purple rice is my fave. I usually bought it at the convenience stores when in Korea. Yeah, you can get the microwave versions of the purple rice as well. For anyone who doesn't know, it's that 햇반, right? Or 햇밥. And you buy it in the supermarkets or in the convenience stores. You put it in the microwave for like 2.5 minutes. And it tastes pretty good, you know, for a microwaved rice.
Well, in the Bali world, you know, when you're in a hurry, if you live alone, that's kind of an easy way to do it.
When I was single, I used to go through packets of that like anything because, you know, cooking a whole rice cooker's full worth, you know, it lasts you a week, but then after a couple of days, it doesn't taste as good whatsoever.
Sure. The starch changes on it. And,
because they do have that function on the rice cooker to keep it warm. And I think you can just leave it in there for ages without it going bad. It's still good to eat, but it just doesn't taste the same. Siska goes on to say, I just eat it after putting it in the microwave with that meat. It would be fantastic. That's the key for me, is the meat. I mean, all the other things are great, the leaves, the rice, it's all nice and healthy, but what you're putting in there with it, like, I think it goes well with the fatty meats like the pork belly as well. You know, the one where they put the gochujang, the chili paste, on the pork belly.
Okay.
So it's the spicy pork that also works really well in this.
Or the thinly shaved ones. It really doesn't matter. You can do anything. I mean, you could have seafood, pork, beef. When
you said with the fish as well, with the samchi, that's such a good idea. Like a meaty fish in there would go really well. I'm thinking even like a stir-fried prawns or something like that in there. Pretty much anything,
if you think about like Western diet versus Eastern diet, or Korean diet, there's so much more greens going, so many more vegetable, and by doing it this way, you'd be surprised when you're sitting at a restaurant having this. They bring out this giant thing of greens, and you're like, "Whoa, that's a lot." And then next thing you know, you're like, "Oh, dojisayo, you know, I need some more." It just disappears, and what a great way to get full is more of this, less starch, a lot less protein too. You know.
Yeah, and it's a good balance when you are eating meats that maybe can clog up your cholesterol levels and stuff. If you eat them with vegetables, I think the digestive process is just so much better, right?
Totally.
And that's the brilliant thing about Korean cuisine, is that you'll have all those side dishes as well, which are heavily vegetable-based. Eating it with the meat as well. You're right, you eat a lot less meat too by doing that. You're filling yourself up. It's such a healthy way to do it.
And it tastes great.
Absolutely
You get that crunch. And it's fun. You get to wrap up different bites. You know, there'll be other ingredients, sometimes raw garlic, or you can saute some of the garlic at the table if you're cooking meat there. All different kinds of stuff you can put in.
Or another of my favorite leaves that we haven't got here today is, you know, the white, like, Napa cabbage leaves.
Oh, yeah.
And those, I like those with nothing else. Just dipping them in the samjang is such a tasty snack.
You're talking about the raw ones or when they're
raw?
Okay,
raw. I mean, sometimes they do them like half salted.
Right.
That's nice as well. But that kind of takes a different texture as well. But the crunchy ones, just raw, you wash them and then dip them in the samjang. It's amazing. And then you can put a little bit of rice and a bit of meat on top.
Yeah, that reminds me, a friend gave me a giant bag of the one particular type of Korean cabbage called bomdong, or bomdongnamu. And you only see it around the winter time. And I had so much of it, I was like, I'm never going to eat all of this. What am I going to do? And I sat down with this amazing doenjang that someone had made with just organically, and it was just incredible. And next thing you know, the entire. I mean, I was by myself, and the next thing you know, the entire bag of this cabbage is gone, and the doenjang's half gone.
Wow!
And I'm full off of a soybean paste.
Yeah.
And a bunch of winter cabbage.
How good is that for your digestive system?
I know, right? Yeah.
They say that cabbage is so good. Like, I'll have a cabbage and carrot smoothie of a morning time. It doesn't taste that bad, actually.
Wait a second. As finicky as you are, you're having cabbage carrot smoothies in the morning?
Not by choice, Chef Ryan. My mum made me, and now I've gotten used to it. It's not too bad. Like, I take all the bits out. Don't get me wrong. I'm still fussy about it, but it tastes really good. And one of my mum's other favourites, talking about the doenjang, is kang doenjang. If you don't really see it that often in restaurants and stuff. It's usually a homemade thing where they get the doenjang and they kind of make it more concentrated. Right. Like, they add some chilies in there, maybe some garlics and stuff, and like boil it up a bit, and then it gets really super salty, super like flavoursome.
Yeah, intensified. Yeah,
and then you just need a tiny bit with the boiled cabbage that we were talking about earlier with the rice, and that is delicious.
It makes sense. Yeah,
so good. So we're talking all about this today, and we have been. We got one other message from Danielle from Trinidad saying, no, other than gyros and roti, we don't really eat too many wraps here. I'm not too familiar with
gyros, like a gyro, like a Greek sandwich.
Gyros, gyros. And a roti as well. I'd love to see some photos if you can send them over to us. This is going to be uploaded onto YouTube. We had a message earlier asking why it's taking a bit longer to get them uploaded. We've got a staff shortage in the video editing department at the moment, so do apologise for any late uploads, but they will be on within the next couple of days or so you can look forward to seeing it on YouTube. All you need to search out there is Yes Chef Arirang Radio, and that's all you need, and you'll find all our previous episodes. If you're watching on YouTube, then why not listen to our show, #DailyK, 9 to 11 a.m. every single day here on Arirang Radio. We'll be back with Yes Chef. Anyone else got any recipes or ingredients? Chef Ryan will take a look in part 3. Here is Tiara with part 1, Kojimal Lai. We're back for part 2 of Yes Chef, and Ryan has got his last sambap in just in time. Well done, sir. What we're going to do now is take a look at our listener fridges. You've been sending in your ingredients. It's wonderful to see, especially on a Tuesday. We get a lot of early messages from our European and North American listeners who list out their whole entire fridges, sometimes their pantries, and Chef Ryan comes up with some delicious recipes that you can try. And many of our listeners post up photos. Roz did the beef Wellington the other week. It looked amazing.
It came out perfect.
Yeah,
that medium rare.
Yeah, and you're going to do that with your students today, right?
Yeah, I've got a Wellington class with the Hanu Anjim.
Oh, that's so good.
They're so stoked.
They're amazingly lucky. I've told you, didn't I, Chef Ryan? I've never had a beef Wellington, so I'm scared to cook it as well because it looks like a big deal, you know, with the pastry outside and the meat inside to get it just right.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared. You just have to have the right ingredients.
I'm going to listen again then to last week's show, and then I'll make that at home one day, and I'll post up a photo. Won't be as good as Roz's.
I'll try to make a little video in class today and maybe share that with you.
Oh, yeah, that would be a good idea. Thank you very much. All right, who are we going to start with today?
Okay, let's start with Roz then.
Okay.
That Wellington really did look amazing.
Yeah.
That's impressive. I think, though, you got to let it rest a little bit longer next time.
Okay.
The easiest way to mess up on a Wellington is that you get too anxious. You're like, it comes out of the oven. You're like, we got to cut it open.
Right.
If you don't let it rest, then the bottom will get all soggy because the juices will all run to the bottom, and then you don't have that crunch on the bottom.
So if you leave it closed and let it rest, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, you have to. 'Cause as soon as you cut the meat, the juices flow out of the meat.
I see. So
and
cut it out as soon as you're going to eat it.
Right. So a good 20-minute rest, because when it's a steak, you know, maybe a 10-minute rest is fine. But this is wrapped up, so that it's insulated, so it's going to take about 20 minutes to rest.
So what does the resting do, Ryan? On another point, because many people, like amateur chefs or amateur just people who are cooking at home, we're not patient enough to let it rest. But why is that really essential?
Well, when the meat is really, really hot. There's a lot of juices that are running around in there easily.
Okay.
And as it cools down, those kind of calm down, and then they go back into the meat.
Okay.
But if you cut it while those are really hot and active, then they're just going to run out, and that's a lot of flavor that you're losing.
I see. So it's really important.
With Korean style, you know, they're already cut in these little pieces, and you're cooking them, and then they're going straight in your mouth, so you're not losing anything.
I see. So that's the difference, right? It's not usually a big lump of steak here in Korea.
Right.
Okay.
But Roz has a really cool fridge or pantry and fridge here. We've got zucchini, jalapenos, jalapeno soup, broccoli, some button mushrooms, mozzarella cheese, cheddar cheese, green papaya. On the tree, that's so cool. You got a papaya tree. I wish I could do that here. Lemons and limes, a head of cabbage, eggs, turmeric, and many other spices, tofu, and green beans. And Roz, I think you know what I'm thinking probably already from this, and that's green papaya salad. Have you ever had a spicy green papaya salad, Thai style?
No.
Well, you haven't lived.
No, I have not.
It's so good. It can be really spicy. It's such an interesting fruit because when it's ripe, it's sweet and kind of funky, you know, and when it's green, it can be really spicy.
Wow. Like a peppery kind of spice.
Boy, like your nose is running spicy.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah. And you usually like shoestring it, you know, kind of like we often do here in Korea with the pa, right? So you take the green papaya, you peel it or slice the peel off, and then you kind of shoestring it. And I'm guessing Roz knows this because you happen to have a lot of the ingredients needed here for a green papaya salad. The green beans, usually in Thailand, they'll use the long beans or the snake beans.
Okay.
We grow those on the farm. They're awesome. They're incredible things to have around. Now, for sourness, you could use some of your turmeric. If you made a little turmeric paste, that would work really well. I don't see why the cabbage couldn't go into this too for a little crunch. Then definitely the limes. What you do need that I don't see here is garlic and usually a little fish sauce. But you have these fresh jalapenos, and that would work perfectly for your spicy element. Other than that, it's just something sweet like honey or sugar, and you have a green Thai papaya salad.
Oh, with that kind of dressing on it, the honey and sugar, the fish sauce together.
What's usually done is it's just kind of put into a great big mortar and pestle and just kind of pounded a bit.
Oh, the whole salad.
Not pulverized until it's mush, but pounded to get the salt into the vegetable matter, which pulls moisture out and makes all those flavors combine.
Wow, that's interesting. I'd love to try that, yeah.
Thai and Southeast Asian food like that, you know, from Cambodia and Laos and Thailand, they really do a lot of things in those mortar and pestle, and it's good. It's
kind
really
of
good.
Stimulate the ingredients to like all mix together.
That's it. That
sounds brilliant.
Get those flavors rolling.
You said you're flying out to San Diego soon, and that's like the emptying your fridge process. Hopefully, you can try that out and post up another picture.
Oh, green papaya salad is so good, man. I'll have to bring you some of that someday too.
Please.
All right, Audrey. Wow. Okay, there's a lot of good stuff in this fridge. Veal tenderloin.
Wow.
Don't ever see that here.
No, never.
Not in Korea.
You look forlorn.
Veal tenderloin. Some more, like last week, the spianata picante. That's a kind of like a chorizo, or it's like a sausage, a cured sausage. Gambas or shrimp, potatoes, endive, Savoy cabbage, okay, leeks, carrots, turnips, zucchini, lime, clementines, passion fruit, kiwis, cheese, and this cheese list just She has burrata. Have you ever had burrata?
I don't believe so.
Oh my god, it's like, you know, the buffalo mozzarella.
Yes.
Okay, imagine a giant buffalo mozzarella, but the inside is like gooey and soft.
Wow.
And creamy.
Even when it's cold.
Yes.
How?
I don't know.
That's
but it's
amazing.
It's
Really?
so good. It's
Okay.
so good. There's another cheese here. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it, but it's like a harder sheep's cheese that's from, I think, where Audrey lives.
Yeah.
And then Pont l'Evêque, which is one of my absolute favorites. It's like a soft cheese that's really nutty and creamy at the same time, and gets better as you leave it out.
Really?
You cut it, you leave it on the table, and it gets
Smells
better.
a bit worse over time.
Okay. These cheeses. Single cream, eggs, fresh ginger, herbs, and bunches of spices, onions, shallots, and garlic. Okay. Now,
You got to use the veal, right?
yes.
Okay.
But I want to do something different, like kind of like what we're talking about today with Sam.
Okay.
Because you have the endive and you have the cabbage. Now, remember, we were talking earlier, you can steam the cabbage a little bit, not too much to where it's falling apart, but because you want to be able to do little wraps of it. So steam it, then let it cool down, and then do some wraps up. Now, I don't see rice here, but it doesn't have to be sambap. It can still be sam.
Yeah, exactly,
And the veal tenderloin or the shrimp, even the sausage too, those could all be things that you could wrap. Now, you're not going to have a samjang. You don't have the ingredients here for a samjang, but... why not, can you imagine having a nice little steamed piece of cabbage with like a nice season, get your herbs on the veal tenderloin, cook it up in a pan, a skillet, and then have some of that burrata, that creamy cheese. Instead
of the veal.
It's still sam.
That sounds cool, yeah, with a bit of a cheesy flavour.
Oh, boy. Or
that sounds nice.
Pairing up the shrimp with the sausage. You have that kind of salty pork sausage combined with shrimp. It goes really well together. And then wrapped up in lettuce. Then you could use a sweet element. You could use some of the kiwi or the passion fruit to make a sweeter sauce. It could go well with that. Lime goes really well into that as well. Of course, shallots too.
Audrey, I want to see that photo of the sam with the veal and maybe the cheese on top, and tell us what it tastes like. Ryan, that sounds awesome.
Now. oh my goodness. Okay, we've got another one here. Let's see. Oh, Tasha's got a pantry instead of fridge today. Okay, we've got white and red beans, olives, all different kinds, canned tuna, lemon-flavored gelatin, and canned peaches.
What?
Jerkin.
Okay.
Jerkins, the pickles, canned corn, cooking cream, and pimientos enteras, so like whole bell peppers, I guess.
In the jars.
In a pan.
They're quite nice, yeah.
Those are nice. And she says, feel free to pair with any gluten-free ingredient.
Okay.
I'm just trying to use what's in the pantry.
Wow.
Okay.
This is difficult.
I usually start with protein, so I'm looking at the canned tuna.
Yep.
But boy, oh boy, you know what? It's a little chilly this time of year, even in Spain, if you take the beans, and God, what else do you put with that? Well, I was thinking you could make a kind of a heartwarming winter like bean stew. But what I like to do is actually cook them with some other kind of protein like a pork or something, and then put them in the blender and puree it all up, and then put it back in the pan and cook it down again. Anyway, that's just a nice way to make something that's more interesting. When you open up a can of beans that's been in your pantry, it's like, meh, what am I going to do with that?
Absolutely, yeah.
But when you add a little protein and blend them and add some spices, make it a little bit spicy.
Okay.
You can get a really nice heartwarming dish out of that can of beans that's been in your pantry for forever.
Sounds like a great base.
Don't put the tuna in it. Definitely don't put the lemon gelatin in there. Sorry, Tasha, I hate canned corn. I just hate it. But one thing I do like to do with canned corn is honey and cilantro and spicy chilies tossed in a pan. And you'll get a nice side dish out of that.
That sounds like an exciting thing. Post that up. Ryan, you're going back to the States for a couple of weeks.
Yes, I am. Joe is going to come in, though. Joe McPherson.
Okay, he was here last time to cover for you, so I look forward to trying his stuff out. And have a safe journey, and
Thanks,
we'll
Peter.
see you when you get back. Thank you so much. All right, it's time for our last song of Yes Chef. This is Jong and G featuring Harim, hopefully Sky or Hano Paragi.